honor the a-holes, or at least the a-holes that are in question this week. Because, look, tall folk, as a guy that's vertically challenged, sometimes we just need a hand. It's embarrassing to ask, but sometimes it's up a little bit too high on the shelf. And if you're tall and you're looking at a struggle, don't judge. Just come over and grab the item for us from the top shelf and just politely hand it to us and be on your way. That's just charity.
Instead of a hand, it sounds like you need a foot.
foot and a half.
I just got it.
Yeah, she's been on fire, Bobby.
Yeah, it took me a minute.
You missed it yesterday.
I just got it.
You just been on fire.
Thank you very much.
All right, Cassie. So here
Don't
you got
forget to tip your bartenders in your service.
tall dude refusing to help short woman and is wondering, am I being the a-hole here?
He writes, I was doing my grocery shopping, and if you've ever been to this store I was shopping at, you'll know the shelves are pretty high up. I'm 6'4", so not an issue for me. This short girl got my attention and asked me if I could grab her something off the tall shelf. Honestly, I think if she just stood on her tippy toes or jumped a few times and knocked it down with a stick or something, she could have done it herself. So I just said,
Who carries a stick to the grocery
Pull
store?
a stick out of pocket. What's wrong with him?
I'm short, but I'm not carrying a stick short.
Let me go over to the house cleaning aisle, grab a mop, and I'll come back and knock things off with the mop.
So that's assuming that me, Davi, you're fairly short also. All right, that we're going to just walk into our day knowing that we're going to need an item that's out of reach. So we're going to walk around. We're going to take a stick out of the house.
Man, I climb on stuff all the time.
Yep.
So I just looked at her and said, no thanks. She looked surprised and said, okay, and looked at the thing and then looked around. Some other guy in the aisle was looking at me with this WTF look on his face and then came over and got the thing off the tall shelf for her. She thanked him and then walked like 3 feet to grab something else. The guy said, dude, don't be a jerk. She obviously couldn't reach it. And I said, not my problem. I don't work here. What? He said, it costs nothing to be nice. So I said, it costs $20 to get a stepladder. Maybe she should invest in that instead of bothering people who don't work here.
Wow.
She looked at me and then said, wow, okay. And the guy was like, holy S, you're an a-hole. And I just left because whatever. I'm tired of being expected to do this crap just because I'm tall. Over and over and over again. It is not my job. I just want to live my life and be left alone. Every time I go to the store, I get asked to pull something down from the top of a shelf for someone. I'm over it. So am I the a-hole for not going out of my way to work for some girl at a grocery store when I don't actually work at the store?
Yeah, life is tough for tall people, man. It is. I understand you're great.
You know, superheroes complain all the time that they've been given these gifts and that they have to use them to help people.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly. Yo, dude, it's
just a
you're an a-hole.
kind thing to do.
It is.
This is on you, Mo. You're tall.
I know. I knew it was coming.
You better
You have to
represent.
answer.
Yeah,
Would you
That's
ever,
not fair.
would you ever tell somebody no if they asked you to reach something that they were unable to reach?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No. And I mean, someone asked me like every trip to the grocery store, every
Yeah.
single time. You get asked at least once, but I've never even had a thought of like saying no before.
Why wouldn't you want to do it? Like every time a kid's like, will you give me that juice? I'm like, I'm the strongest in the world. I can carry the juice. I can pour it in a cup for you. Look at how strong I am, me and my biceps. And kids are so grateful. Like, why wouldn't you? And I'm small, so I never get to feel like the Hulk.
Right.
But I just got that kid a jug of milk with my own
Yep.
triceps and biceps.
You big girl.
I'm so strong. So, like, why wouldn't a guy be like, yes, let me get this box from you off a high shelf. I'm doing you a favor. That's so nice.
Mo, you're going to need to speak for this guy.
I can't.
First, he's got the pressure of speaking for a whole race.
Yeah.
And now you've got tall people.
All of tall people, right? No, I do think it's funny though. As a tall person, you kind of start to realize like every time you go to the grocery store, if a woman ever needs help, like she'll ask, no problem. But if it's a guy, he will not ask.
Nah.
Like I will watch him like look around to find other options to try to get something and just stand there so he can keep looking past me because he don't want to ask for help.
I will confess about this right here because I'm 5'4", y'all. So I have had to try to stand on the bottom shelf in order to get to the top shelf without knocking anything down. You feel me, Davi? Without knocking anything down on the bottom shelf. Or I have also been in an aisle where I have to get something on the top, and I will wait and wait and wait until everybody's off that aisle and then just start jumping.
Yes. You ask for no help.
You're not asking for
I
help.
am not asking
Yep,
for help.
that's how it
And then
goes.
somebody else comes on the aisle, and I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
no, I was just doing jumping jacks because I'm so fit. Look at how fit I am in the cereal aisle. No, I won't ask for help. I don't want to either, and I have almost died at Target because of it.
Uh-huh.
Like I got in the buggy to reach something off the high
The thing
shelf.
that has wheels and
It
rolls.
has wheels, guys. It tried to take off, and I went back, and it went forward. And it was nuts. And then a little dude in a red shirt was like, "You could have just asked. That's what I'm here for."
Yeah.
Cassie, what was the consensus on Reddit?
This has got to be a
We're-
clean sweep.
No, it was weirdly 50-50 split. A lot of people said he was not the a-hole. They said the way he handled it, he could have been a little nicer with the no, but they said you don't owe anybody your time. You don't owe anybody anything. And if you wanted to say no, you're well within your right to.
And this is why the world's in the state that it is today.
So the
takes a
Amazonians
second.
were like on Reddit that day,
Right.
Like lending to that. That's not fair.
All
Wonder
the long
Woman would be
fingers.
so disappointed.
The Bert Show.
Like what you just watched, you can get more of The Bert Show for free. Just listen to The Bert Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.